everyone, just trying to send out another video. I'm here in Port-au-Prince. I just brought my sister to the airport this morning really early. It was so wonderful having her here. I can't believe it. I have one more week at the orphanage before I have to leave the country because I've been here for about 3 months already, and God's been doing so much. I just had a couple of testimonies that I wanted to share of just specific things that really impacted me and our team and the community. That's been just one out of many, or a couple out of many testimonies that God's doing. So thank you so much for praying. Your prayers are doing a lot here. We were in the market. We went down to the market a couple weeks ago on a Tuesday, and we'd been asking the Lord what strategy He had for us that morning, and He told us that we were supposed to go in 3 groups, and just like what happened with Gideon, that they kept taking people out and making the group smaller, and they went in just with pots and symbols, and the Lord caused confusion in the enemy's camp. It wasn't them fighting or striving to win. It was just doing that, and the Lord won the battle for them. And so we split up into 3 groups, and it was one group that was like a worshiping group. We had some of the kids have instruments, and we were just walking through the whole the fair, the market, and worshiping with instruments. And then the 2 other groups, one started at the beginning and one started at the end, the other side of the market, and they were just coming into the center, both to meet in the center, praying for people, talking to people about Jesus, and just so that we would cover the whole place. And then we had a time set for us to meet all in the middle of the market and worship together. So after about an hour, I was with the worshiping group, and it was so powerful walking through the market and worshiping, and it was incredible just feeling the shift in the atmosphere as we worship, as these kids lifted their voices in praise, and seeing as we passed some people, if they knew the song, they would start worshiping some as well. That was beautiful, because market day is a crazy day. And then we met in the middle of the market after about an hour of that, and we just started to worship, and people began to gather and surround us, and the kids were just worshiping, and the Lord put on my heart, we need to preach. There's so many people here that are just listening, and it's time to preach. And I knew a friend of mine had been there with me as well, and I knew that he was going to get up and preach first, and then the Lord would have me share a word. So as soon as the kids stopped singing, my friend stood right up without me saying anything, and he began to preach some to the crowd. And then as soon as he finished, I got up and began to preach just about the love of God and relationship, how His presence had drawn them into that place, that they were created for something more. There was a spirit of prophecy over us, and began to prophesy over one man. If you look on Facebook, my cover photo is directly after that time. We asked, just kind of opened it up for people who wanted prayer after kind of like an altar call on the street, in the church in the street. And this young man came, and he just got on his knees and lifted his hands up, and the kids got around him and prayed for him, and it was just a super powerful time. A lot of people were being touched by the love of God. The presence of God was so thick there, and the kids were just going, as soon as I finished preaching, the kids were going around praying for people, telling people about Jesus. And I've just been so enjoyed seeing the kids really grow in their heart for the lost, and praying for people, and their boldness. They just don't have fear. They're so comfortable in doing it now, because they've been doing it for several months, at least once a week. So it's becoming much more natural for them. So that was a highlight. And then the next Tuesday we went, and the Lord just told us to circle the market like Jericho. This was like a very challenging day. The kids all understood. We explained to them the story about Jericho, and that we were going to just worship and circle the market 7 times. And they were all excited about it, but man, there was so much distraction. Several of them just weren't singing, maybe because of being embarrassed. We ended up, after talking to them 3 different times, we ended up having to send a group of the kids back up to the orphanage and stay with the remainder and do the rest of the walk. Just making it clear that it wasn't just, they're not in trouble. But our purpose for being there was to sing and to cover the area with worship. And if they weren't wanting to do that, that's fine. That's their choice, and that they can go up. That God always gives us a choice. He always does. And that's something that we've been really trying to teach these kids, is that, we're not here to force you into doing things. It's your choice. You can make a choice, and it will be the consequence of your choice what ends up happening. And so those kids went back up, and they were pretty upset, but we finished worshiping around the market. It was incredible, and God really taught the kids that went back up to the orphanage as well that they all apologized. And then another day, just this past week, a really difficult thing happened. We were sharing in the morning. This was just 2 days ago, and we had a great day planned out for them. So many fun things to do. We were doing our dream time in the morning, where we have them share their dream. Anyone who dreams something, they share it. And then we talk about interpretation, and all of them have been growing so much in the interpretation of dreams. It's incredible to see. They share their dreams and they have understanding. We ask the Lord for understanding, and they're getting it. So that's really cool. So there was about 6 of them that had dreams, and we're going through, but they were just disrespecting. One of our main things is, while someone's talking, you don't talk. That's respect, and they were not doing well with it this morning. And I had to tell them. I got up maybe 3 times and said, if you don't be quiet again, things are going to change for today. And the last time I got up, I said, listen, we've talked so much about this. You know that you're not supposed to talk while other people are talking. You're disrespecting us as a team, and I'm going to give you one more chance. We had already 4 people in like a timeout, and so I said, I'm going to give you one more chance. One more person talks, and we're not doing anything. Our team will leave, and you guys will have today to just talk all that you want. You can talk. You won't play games. You won't do anything else. You just talk all day, because that's apparently what you want to do. And they were quiet for about 3 minutes, and then someone talked while our group was talking still, and I just said, okay, we're done, we're leaving. And all of them were very upset, started saying a bunch of mean things, trying to be mean, and I said, I'm sorry, we gave you multiple choices. It's your choice. We've talked to you about it. It's your choice. We're not forcing you to do anything, and you just made a choice right now of what you want to do. So you have today to talk. And we went down, and it was really hard. I was almost in tears, because I was just so disappointed. Really wanting. We had such a great day planned. It was my sister's last day there, but we had to do it. Had been a couple of days where they'd been pretty bad with the talking. So we all leave, and they're angry, and then the day passes, and finally me and Lydia go back up at around 7 o'clock at night so she can say goodbye, because we had to leave 4 o'clock the next morning. When we walked into the area there, all the kids came running to us and fell on their knees and started crying, asking for forgiveness. And it was real, it was sincere. At first I thought some of them were joking, and then I looked in their faces, and there was real sincerity. It was not a joke, not for any one of them. And each one of them came and apologized for talking, and were crying. It was the most beautiful, powerful thing I've ever experienced, because we've been teaching about forgiveness as well, and asking for forgiveness when you do something wrong, and recognizing when you're wrong. So that totally made my day, seeing that God is really moving in them, though, and teaching them, and how discipline is a good thing, even as it's difficult for us and for them sometimes, that it brings transformation. It's bringing transformation to them. So thank you so much for your prayers. There's so much to update. I know I'm almost at 10 minutes again, so I want to end this, but I just wanted to send out a couple testimonies and let you know that God is still moving powerfully. There's so many other things, people getting healed, giving their life, recommitting their life to the Lord. The children are growing tremendously. So really be praying for this next week, as it's my last week there, and that God would pour out in powerful ways. Thank you so much. I love hearing from you. Whenever I get internet, I will next week again. Love you and bless you. Thank you so much for all that you do.